I hope you guys are ready. We had 565 registers. If you can't figure it out, it's okay. If they can hear me, that's fine too. Maybe it's something to do with that. So, I don't know. But yeah, so guys, this is gonna be a pretty cool night. I've spent quite a while putting all this information together so that I can share it with you guys, and I can really give you some actionable steps, some actionable items to take with you. I got my whiteboard behind me, so if I gotta jump to the numbers, let me turn that camera on, Noah. Noah's ready for that. So I do see a lot of people still watching from Facebook, and that's okay, guys. But if you want to jump over to the Zoom, very easy to do that, matthayeswebinar.com. So, but hey guys, we're gonna get started right now. So no time like the present. Let me pull up my deal here. Noah, you don't need to share this just yet. So here we go. Airbnb arbitrage, how to get out of the rat race, presented by myself and Noah. He's up there, top left corner on my end. I'm not sure where you guys can see him. But a little intro about myself. Who's Matt Hayes? You guys may or may not know me. I'm a God-fearing man, husband of 18 years to an amazing wife, father of 4 awesome kids. Sometimes I want to kill them. 2 boys, 2 girls. My passion has always been for real estate business and in helping others achieve their financial dreams. I have successfully completed over 1,000 real estate transactions between fix and flips, wholesales, land deals, farm deals, trailers, short-term rentals, long-term rentals, commercial warehouses, all of that. So I am currently owning and operating 32 short-term rentals, or 33 short-term rentals. We are furnishing, my wife's in the process of doing another one right now for our second client. So we have 2 properties that we're servicing now for others. So that's pretty cool. 2 multifamily deals. We got our hands full, guys. So just trying to give you a little bit of background. I'm seasoned in real estate. I know it, I get it. And so let's dive right in. Noah, go ahead and share my screen on this one if we could. This is us. Sorry about that.
Just a second, Matt.
I think I got it. You good?
I got you here.
Yeah. Cool. So guys, this is us right here. So we love skiing, doing things on the water, mountains, snowboarding. This is us at Christmas. This is why I get up every day and work so dang hard, is to provide for them. Through my life, this is what we do. So let's get started. Noah, let's keep sharing the screen. I like what you're doing here, Noah. Okay. Everybody see that okay? Just give me yeah, all right, cool. So actually, I'm going to do this. No, I want to see it like this. That's all right.
Yeah, that's all right, dude.
So 7 steps of Airbnb arbitrage. Here we go. Let's dive right in, okay? Step 1, okay? Searching for the property. Search on Zillow, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. What are we looking for? What we're looking for is private landlords. I don't like to do the big landlords, the hedge funds, the big companies, because there's really no negotiation with them. There's really no, unless it's an apartment building or a larger group of units. Like I got some guys in Kansas City that have 50 units in some apartment buildings. So that if we could get everybody to mute their screen too, that would be awesome. Or no, if you can figure out how to mute everybody until the end here. So what we're looking for, private landlords, cute houses inside and out. I'm a big fan of minimum of 2 bath. The more bedrooms, the better. I love it when we get to 4 bedrooms. The more you sleep, the more you read. Guys, these sites, what do we do there, Noah? We still good?
Sorry, I took away the host. I'll give it right back. You just keep going. I got you, man.
Okay. Let me do that. Sorry, guys. Got all this stuff rolling here. These sites can be very easily searched, so you don't need a subscription or anything like that. Noah, can you make my screen smaller? You just lost the
Yeah. Sorry, it's sort of slow.
It's okay.
If you can click on Zoom and share your screen, it should work.
Oh, okay. I'll drive from here on out then. Okay. So let me show you guys real quick how easy this can be, because I did this morning when Noah and I were doing a dry run on searching these sites. So this property right here, all I did was I went to Zillow, quite simple actually, and I clicked the for rent. So that's this tab right here, for rent. Hey, I didn't put a price, I didn't put bed and bath, I didn't do any of that stuff. I went straight into this. Then I clicked apply, and then all of these for rents came up in the area. Now this is St. Peters, Missouri. You can look at all sorts of areas. Now I know the restrictions of St. Peters, Missouri, because I have 2 properties that are located right now here. It's also important to notice that there's a lot of different styles of properties. So we've got, you know, some from 1800. We got some condos. When they're grouped together, when they say like this 5 units here, that means it's probably like a condominium or something like that. But this one here caught my eye. And I'm going to go through real quick, pretty easily, and show you guys why it caught my eye. It's cute. It's simple. It looks somewhat updated. It fits my budget. I like the price. It's been on for 11 days. It says listed by a management company, but I've got the name of the person and this phone number here. Now, this phone number is a routing number for Zillow. So it's not like their cell phone number. So don't send them a text. You're actually going to need to call this number and then block all the Zillow calls that you're going to get after that. But let me show you this. I'm just going to kind of dive right into it. Before I go to running the data, understand that you can set up these Zillow triggers to trigger anything in your market. So once you find the criteria, you can go to Zillow, set up those triggers so that you're getting text messages and emails, so that it automatically comes to you, because this gets refreshed every 7 days. There's always new listings coming on and there's always new listings coming off. And these are for rent. So make sure that the regulations in the area fit your needs. Like, you don't want to be searching a heavily regulated area or an area that just does not allow short-term rentals. Are you looking at seasonal, suburban, or unique? We're going to get into a little bit more of that later, but the seasonal would be something near a lake, something where it's a vacation destination. What I like here, guys, is these suburban states. That's where Blair and I have really made our bread and butter. Yes, we have a couple unique properties, and we have a few that are beachfront, but the bulk of our business is in these suburban states. So the next thing I do is I take this information. So I've got this address. I'm going to come over here to AirDNA. I know you guys have heard this site. It's like the Zillow for Airbnb, but it does have useful data. So don't get tunnel vision on the fact that you don't think that this is accurate. This is pulling data from other listings in the area. So what I did was I went to airdna.co and I typed in the rentalizer. You scroll down here, all the way to the rentalizer, typed in the address right here. I confirmed it's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. This gives me my estimated annual revenue based off of the data that they're pulling. So we have $282 a daily night, 52% occupancy rate. Now, guys, that's insanely low. I've got 2 houses in St. Peters right now. Our occupancy rate for December was 87%, and last month was 83%, and we're pushing north of 85% in February. So I know we'll be able to kick that one's butt. So what do I do next, right? I take that information and I plug it into this awesome little spreadsheet. Get this to come up. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this so far. Right there. So type in my address. This is something that my wife and I built so that we can use this. Yes, take pictures. all you want, but you guys are gonna get this recording too. You can and you guys can very easily make this. So here's the thing. What I do is I got my breakdown of expenses over here. So insurance, my rent, $15.95, supplies, electric, heat, water, Wi-Fi, accounting, software, grass cutting, snow removal. My total expenses every month, right? $25.85. I got this here for reference. I plugged in the AirDNA source annually, $53,000, $500. But I know we're going to push 70% occupancy because I know I'm already doing 80 in this area. So 70% occupancy at that means I'm a total projected annual revenue, $72,000 a year, $6,000 monthly, minus the Airbnb fees that they're going to charge me, minus my monthly expenses right here. This is my net cash flow a month, $3,200. So you tell me if you can live off $3,200. I mean, that's a financial decision on your part. Here we go. So furniture and setup on this house, we estimate it'll be $14,000. I could probably get that number down a little bit, closer to 10. Security deposit, first month's rent, total all in $17,200. So 8-month ROI. 18% cash on cash return monthly, not annually. Annually is close to 300%, which means all your money is going to get returned to you within the first year, if not sooner.
So Matt, what you're saying is that based on the security deposit and the first month's rent, because we're going through landlords here, and all of the furnishing costs, all of the startup costs, you can run the rental for only 8 months, and then you've got no more money in the deal. You just have it producing every month after that.
Yeah. Hey, Noah, I will answer your question in a second. Are we already at capacity in the Zoom? I'm getting a bunch of text messages of people that can't get brought in because we're already at capacity.
I didn't think we had a capacity limit.
That's wild. Okay, it's kind of cool. First time for everything. Yeah, we're at 99 right now, so it looks like we must be at 100 capacity.
Wow. Well, I apologize to those that didn't get in on time. So you early birds got lucky.
Yeah, no doubt.
We had 460 people register for this. So
yeah, okay. So yeah, we're right at 100. I'm just assuming that we can't get the rest of them in.
Well, we'll look into it for next time.
Dang, okay. I wasn't sure if there was a way to make that happen or not. Okay, let's just pull this down a little bit. All right, so yeah, you guys early birds definitely worth making happen. Someone just said depends on the subscription. We can go higher. Yeah, that's a bummer. Shit.
Well, yeah. I'll look into it afterwards. We're paying for Zoom Pro. So
yeah, that's wild. Okay. All right, maybe we'll have to do another one here shortly. Okay. Well, anyways, let's keep going, guys. For those of you who are in the room, I want to make sure that we definitely are taking care of you. So here's the thing. Let's get back to it. All right. The question then is, do the numbers work for you, right? It's an $18,000, $17,000 investment. Does this fit your budget? Does this fit your income goals? You know, how close is this to your house? Are you managing this from a distance, or is this, you know, nearby? I'm a firm believer that the first property that you are doing needs to be close to your house. I do not recommend that you guys, for your very first property, you're managing it at another location. You know, and I hear that a lot. I hear people that, you know, like I want one over here and over here and over here. Well, until you guys get your processes and systems down, it's very difficult to do that. So your first one needs to be close by. It's just that simple. I really firmly believe that, unless you're going to have a property manager unless you're going to have a property manager manage this thing for you, and then it's another location. But if you're going to be managing this yourself for the first time, I really like it. If you would freaking do this yourself close by. No, why don't we do this? No, why don't you see if you can upgrade while we're still on this? While we're here, I don't know if that's possible, but I'm getting a bunch of messages right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look into that. By the way, you're not sharing your screen. I don't know if you're intending to be.
Yeah, let me do that real quick. Sorry, guys. Just a few technical difficulties, guys. We'll get through. Yeah, no, see if we can upgrade the subscription to a business account or something of that nature.
And forgive me if I missed you say this, but what is the difference between arbitrage and normally just buying a house? I may have said it, but I may have missed it.
Yeah, so my bad. I very well may have missed that. So the thing about it is, guys, you want to own real estate. Like, you want to own real estate. You want it for the long-term exit. But to get going in Airbnb, this is the perfect way so that you don't have to have the large down payments and all the rehab costs of doing the property. So the arbitrage model is basically from renting from a landlord and then hosting it on all the sites, Airbnb, Vrbo, Booking.com. So in order to do that, you have this slew of properties out there that are available to you on Facebook, Craigslist, and Marketplace. You're looking for cool landlords that are easy to work with. It's really that simple. So step 2, right? We've nailed that one. We ran our numbers. We plugged it into AirDNA. We checked it on our spreadsheet. And the numbers work for me. I don't know if they work for you guys, but seems to make sense on my end. So what do you do next, right? Okay, so the numbers work in this property that we can see online. So what do you do now, right? You're calling the landlord and you're scheduling an appointment. What do you say on the phone? The first thing you want to say is, I love the house, I want to rent it. When can I meet you at the property? You need to drop everything you're doing and schedule this appointment, and you need to go meet them. Okay? Schedule the appointment, meet them, get face-to-face with the landlord. Then your goal is to win them over and negotiate your butt off and explain to them the process. That's step 4. I will say that I can do it now on the phone with the landlord. I don't need to be face-to-face because I have this confidence build up. And honestly, I'm okay if 8 out of 10 landlords tell me no, because I'm only looking for 2 deals at a time. Step 6, negotiate with the landlord. You want to get your 90-second pitch down. So you're going to walk into the house and explain to them what's your goal. Your goal is to be charismatic and win them over. They put a ton of money and work into this property that they own, and your job is to take excellent care of it. You're explaining to them what you're going to do. Our plan is to furnish the house and host it on Airbnb. The house is going to be kept in ready to sell condition year round. No more terrible tenants. The property will be professionally cleaned multiple times a week. And some of the objections that I get, guys, I've heard a lot of different things, but these are the most 2 common here. Well, I don't want people throwing parties. Trust me, I don't want this either. But if I were to rent the house and live there, you couldn't control me throwing a party every single night. So I will make sure that my guests don't throw parties. And I'll do that through security cameras, decibel meters. I'll make sure that they understand the house rules. I'll design the decor and the layout of the house to fit and to cater to families. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants parties. Nobody wants damage. Your job is to explain to them that you don't want that either. Oh man, I don't know about this. It seems sketchy. Well, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you visited one of your long-term tenants? Well, never. Okay. What kind of condition was the property then when you turned it over? Well, it was all fucked up. It was destroyed. Exactly. I'm going to keep it in clean, ready to sell, pristine condition year round. It's always going to be that way. So wait a minute. So my property is going to be kept clean all the time, professionally staged. I'm covering all the utilities. I'll sign a personal guarantee. I will take the responsibility. Your money will be ACH on the first of every single month, right? This isn't as hard as it sounds. You just have to go through this a few times. You know, if you make a mistake and fumble, it's okay, guys, because at the end of the day, there are more houses to rent. There always will be more houses to rent. So don't be afraid about this. Go through this a couple times. And then once you get it down and feel more confident, you're going to get someone that says yes. Oh shit, then now what do I do? They just said yes. All right. Now we're going to prepare the lease. That's step 5. We're going to prepare and sign the lease. Now I have 6. You guys can take your phones out and screenshot this one. I have 6 things that I want to make sure that you have in there to protect yourself. Changing regulations. I want to make sure that you have your outs. All right. Security deposits. 1 month's rent. Lease option extensions. No, I guess you got our deal upgraded because I can see a ton of more people. If you guys are just joining now, I am so sorry. You're going to get the recording. We can go back through step 1 through 5, you know, later. If you have any questions, I'll be here for you. I'll make sure you got my contact information. No, why don't you also just send a text blast out to everybody and let them know too, hey, sorry about the malfunction.
Yeah.
Here's the link, click, come on in.
I sent a text that should be hitting them all now.
Okay, great. All right, so, all right, if BJ's on here, I hope you're on here, dude, because I know you're registered. I'm renting a house. I'm getting ready to show you guys from BJ. And now he doesn't rent to people like me anymore. He does the Airbnb himself. Okay, well, how do I protect myself against that? So we have lease option extensions. So what a lease option extension means is that you have the option to extend the lease. You don't have to, right? I want to make sure that's clear. I like signing 2 to 3 year leases up front because I'm confident on my numbers that I just showed you guys. And if you need me to go back through that stuff, I will. I'm sorry if I breezed through it. Sorry, my phone was blowing up with a lot of people that still wanted to get in here. So these lease option extensions are really important. I like to do 3 2-year extensions. And they're generally for $50 increment bumps every single time. So if I'm paying $1,700 a month for a property right now, $1,750 in 3 years, and then $1,800 in 5 years, $1,850 in 7 years. You guys get the drift. So that I'm locked in for 9 years on this property, or excuse me, the landlord's locked in because I have the option, he doesn't have the option. I want to make sure that's clear. I also have just started doing this profitability language. So if the property is not profitable, you have the option to sublet to a tenant. Let's say you got to have your outs, right? We got to protect ourselves. So let's say if it's just not working, you've given it your all, you just keep breaking even, it's too much hassle, you want to change your mind, you just want to be done with this. Okay. So this clause would kick in. And what this does is it protects you so you can have an out on the property. What I like to say is you will find them a tenant or you can place a tenant. All that can be negotiated with that landlord. And then that tenant would then transfer off to him, and then you'd be off the lease. Insurance, you're going to keep short-term rental liability insurance. If you guys are looking for an insurance company, just drop me a DM. I'll send you my lady. She's great. She's easy to work with. It's over at Crane Insurance Company. She's a brokerage here in St. Louis. Works really well. Repairs and maintenance. So we just started adding this language in 2 of all of our leases. So you're going to handle all the little things, the paint, the touch up, the scuffs here, all the minor stuff, light bulbs, change out the AC filters on a regular basis, all that kind of minor stuff, right? But if they don't respond in a timely manner to the big stuff, then you need to be able to have the option to fix that. Let's say your water heater goes out and they don't want to deal with it for a couple of weeks. Well, that makes them a bad landlord, but ultimately it's going to be on them. And the language in the lease allows you to deduct that expense from the lease payment. So everything's possible in writing. You just have to be upfront in the beginning. No. I'm the landlord. I want to handle all maintenance items. Okay, no big deal. Handle all the maintenance items that are big ones, right? Roof, HVAC, water heater, appliances, all those sorts of things. It's under them to fix them. Another benefit of leasing the property. Step 6, it's time to stock and furnish the property. This one's actually pretty easy. Don't overthink it. What I want you to do is go to Airbnb and look at all the listings around your property. And what do they look like? Your job is to kick their ass. Your job is to look better than them, to have all the amenities that they don't, and all the amenities that they do. Blair and I have put together this spreadsheet with all the links, every item that you could possibly think of that you would need for a property, and then some. If you want that, DM me house stock, I'll make sure you got it. Not everybody wants it, so we're not going to spam you with that right now. Anything that isn't on the list is generally like big items, but through our master class and stuff, I show you how to go find them on Facebook Marketplace, Amazon flash sales, discount stores, and all that kind of stuff. Let's talk about the kitchen for a minute. Dude, you got to make sure that kitchen is stocked. Don't buy the cheap shit at the dollar store. That's not cool, okay? You got to buy some decent stuff. You got to get 2 coffee pots. You got to get the drip. You got to get the Keurig. We even started buying the French press. You got to have a crock pot, a griddle. All these items, toaster, pots and pans, dishes, trays, kid dishes, adult dishes, glass, plastic, all that stuff. You got to have it all. Amenities. How about some soccer balls in the backyard or a football? How about the ladder golf game or the washer set or a cornhole? Anything you can do to add an amenity and check that box. One of the first couple of questions you get asked on Airbnb's site when you're plugging in that listing is the safety items: fire extinguisher, first aid kit, smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector. If you don't have them, get them. They're cheap. Load up on this stuff, guys. Books, blankets, comfortable mattresses. Some of these items you don't need to cheap out on. Or excuse me, you don't have to cheap out on because they're already inexpensive. Like we get mattresses that are rolled up from Amazon. I just put 4 over at our house tonight. It's hilarious when you cut those things open and they go poof, right? I'm a big proponent of an arcade machine. I've got a guy here locally we pay about $1,500 to, and he builds these arcade machines in his garage. And they are at every single house that we operate. Why? Because nobody else puts them there. You don't need a hot tub. You don't need a pool, unless you're in an area that needs that. Right now, I'm kind of talking about the suburban stays, renting a property, arbitraging it. You're not going to put in a hot tub. You're not going to put in a pool. You wouldn't do that kind of stuff to a property. These are ready to go for you to use. Okay, step 7, hosting sites and systems. Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, and your private website. Don't worry about the other 3 right now. Airbnb is where you want to start. You can start that on your phone. It's simple. Literally, when I get the professional photos back from our photographer after it's all staged and stocked and the core's up and everything's ready to go. By the way, my wife's got some amazing tips on how to get all that stuff accomplished. But I use my phone. This sounds crazy, but I'll use my phone to put it on Airbnb, get it mostly loaded, and then I'll come to the laptop because they're all synced. I just log in and I finish it up on my desktop to type everything out. We use Guesty for Pros. So that Guesty link right there will get you, I think it's like a trial membership. What I like about Guesty is the Guesty for Pros. And this is if you have more than one property. What I love about it, guys, is that it is like your central hub for everything. You have, you're able to upload your Airbnb listing to Guesty, and then it will push it out to Verbo. It will push it out to booking.com. It will put it on your private website so that you're able to kind of have one central location. Let's say someone books on Airbnb. Well, wait a minute, I got to quickly go over to Verbo and block those dates. No, you don't have to do that. This is automatically done. Another reason I loved Guesty for Pros when we got started is because we got our own Guesty representative that had 6 Zoom calls with us, 1 a week, until we fully understand everything. And she video recorded it. She sent it all to us, all the links and everything. I was impressed by that. Now, their mobile version is not great. Like their app on their phone, it is definitely a desktop program. And what you can do there, your cleaners can have access to it so that they know when to clean a property. Your maintenance guy can have access to it when he knows he needs to go fix something, all that sort of stuff. All right, another service we like to use is Price Labs. Now, Noah's going to send out that link as well. I think it's another free trial. I just want to give you guys as much info as possible. So, Price Labs, that's the dynamic pricing tool. So, I use a hybrid of this because I'm an animal and I demand high occupancy on our properties. Like, I will let Price Labs do its thing, but if I've got like a 3 or a 4 day gap or a vacancy in a property, well, I'm going to go in there and lower that price. Now, wrong, right, or indifferent, there's some schools of thought of people thinking that you should raise the price when you do that. Well, not me. I don't really care. I'm going to lower the price. I want the money coming in the door. There's no school of thought that say you lower it too much, you're going to get some bad guests. Sure, I've had bad guests that pay $1,000 a night. So you're going to have them at all walks of life. The remote lock, I'm a fan of remote lock. No, I don't have a link for you, but there are other locks that you can use. This has an integrated API, so it talks directly with Guesty. So when we get a reservation from Airbnb, it goes to Guesty. Guesty then sends out the code to the guest before their check-in. And that's through our automated message pipeline that we have. All the messages that we have, it's all automated unless an issue comes up or something like that. Stayfi.com, we'll talk a little bit about this because I've got some stuff I want to share with you guys outside of the whole, the 7 steps here. But that's the data capturing. And to do that, we like to use Stayfi. Stayfi.com, it is a router that hooks up to the router in your house. And then anybody that has to flip open a laptop to work, to get on the Wi-Fi, we get name and email address. So my goal is to get as many names and email addresses as I can, because I'm now in the data business. Having this many properties that Blair and I have, we're constantly sucking data into our company. Names, addresses, and cell phone numbers. What property they stayed and when they stayed. Talk more about that in a minute here. We like the Emerson Sensi remote, the Wi-Fi thermostat. Guys, we started doing this recently. So this is not, look at that, I just got another booking. Oh, you guys didn't see it, my bad. Shoot, they're checking in 2 days. Right on. So, sorry, saw a squirrel. This remote, this is an important thing because, guys, I've gone to some of my houses and they crank that heat up to like 85, or they crank the AC down to 65. This is all just going to eat into your pocketbook. I'm not a big stickler when they're staying there. I like a house cold when I sleep. So I'm not going to crank the heat up on a guest. All right, my goal is to get 5-star reviews. Like I'm in the fight of my life for 5-star reviews. But when they're not there, I want to keep it at a manageable level. Like I'm going to set it at 68 in the winter. And then I'll automatically change it, right? Because guess who's going to do this a few hours before they're checking to heat the house back up to like 70 or 71. Same thing goes in the summer. I don't want guests leaving the thermostat on at 65, and then I just spent hundreds of dollars that I didn't need to spend. So this 115 bucks, 3 wires. We got a YouTube video to install it. It's really simple. All right. So I want to show you guys an actual property. I feel like I said that word too much. A property that we operate right now. 149 Hollow Creek Drive, St. Peters, Missouri. This is an arbitrage deal. I do not own this house. I hope BJ is here because I keep rubbing it in his face, but he's going to have to evict my ass if he wants his house back. This is a screenshot of the payout for me for 61 nights. That's 2 months, January and February. I pay BJ $1,700 a month. My expenses are $900. That is my real life net on this property. Right here. You guys want to see it? Let me show you. You're blown away, right? Oh my gosh, it's on a beach. It has a pool, a hot tub. No, I didn't have any of that shit. Guys, this is a suburban stay. There is nothing over the top about this house. It's 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. It's a split level. It's nice. It's comfy. It's clean. Look at it from the outside. You're like, you're telling me this guy makes $3 grand a month off this house? Yep. Got a little basketball hoop in the back. That was a plus. It's a snack tray my wife puts out. You guys should be doing that. There's my Pac-Man machine. I know it says Pac-Man, but it's got 60 games in there. Right? Go back here. Okay. Moving on. Marketing bonus. Okay. Why do I collect all this data? Because I'm crazy. I like to spam the shit out of people, send them things I shouldn't. No, that's not why. Because I'm in this for the long game. Let's talk for a minute about what people were doing and how crazy real estate was going this past year. And the year before that. And the COVID madness of real estate. Rates went to nothing. People were overpaying for houses, rents were high, houses were high, investors were going crazy. They're buying houses, throwing lawn furniture in them, renting them on Airbnb, making a ton of money. Well, that is the same thing as if you are a real estate agent or a real estate investor and you got started in the boom. And I'm real sorry if you did. But that's not the norm. It's not how things really go. So we learned early, thank God, that we needed to be in the marketing business. And we needed to be capturing the data of the guests that come to our property. And so we did. And now we have thousands of email addresses for our guests. Names, emails, cell phone numbers, properties they stayed at and when they did. But why, Matt? What are we going to do with all this information? Because you're going to market to them outside of Airbnb and Vrbo. Yes, those are the horses. They're never going away. Never, never, never. They will be there. I will never be off those platforms. I don't care what any of these gurus say. I want to get off Airbnb. Dude, if you get off Airbnb, you better be in one hell of a niche place, and you better have one hell of a marketing system in place to be able to keep your property booked. Nobody can keep a property booked like Airbnb can. There may be some one-off stuff going on, But man, I'm telling you right now. So marketing them, how do you do it, man? Well, how are you marketing them? Well, this doesn't make any sense. Well, your goal is to send them a monthly newsletter just to stay in touch and keep you top of mind. Brand yourself. We branded ourselves Blair's House. My wife's name, she runs the business. And we didn't want to do vacation rentals. We hated that tagline at the end of it. We didn't want to do Blair's Vacation Rentals or any of that stuff. So we wanted to do it this way. So you're going to market to them every single month on a regular basis. You're going to put together this email. You can use MailChimp or any other service that makes sense for you. Here's a really cool thing too. You're going to add a pixel to your website, your private website that Guesty gives you, a pixel to it. So when they click on that, they open the website up from the email you sent them. Follow me? So a pixel on the website's going to be in the email that you send them. Then they're going to get retargeted on social media. So everything Meta, so Facebook and Instagram, they're going to see your ad pop back up. And you're going to be like, holy shit, how does this person hack in my phone? For my digital marketers in the room, I get it. You're miles ahead of me and you got all this other stuff. But this is a way to do it very simply and affordably. So you're going to drop $100 a month on retargeting ads so that they go to these clients. And if you guys ever notice, whenever you're in the car driving and you talk about something to your spouse, or you just talk about something, and then you get this ad later, or you click on an email and then you see this ad later, that's what this is. So by doing this, you're staying top of mind. The next thing, this is another little trick that we started doing. We don't have a whole lot of success for it yet, but I know it will be successful because I'm operating a business. I can have a Google My Business listed on that address. So when people search me in the area, my listing pops up. Blair's House on Benton, Blair's House on Hollow Creek, Blair's House on Pilgrim. You follow me? So what I like to do then is to feed reviews to those listings. After someone's already left me a 5-star review on Airbnb or Vrbo, I then text them this link, and it's automated. I text them this link to our Google My Business. Hey, use this code to get a 10% off stay next time you're in town. We would really appreciate it. My wife and I, we thrive off of, our small business thrives off of 5-star reviews. So is there any way that you could leave us one here too? Boom. Now you're starting to get reviews on your Google My Business. Another little outside of Airbnb tactic. I hope that made sense. We're going to open it up for Q&A, guys. I promise. Bear with me. I'm almost to the point where we're going to chat some together. So that's great, Matt. So how do I collect data from my guests? Well, shit. The first thing you can do is just ask them for their email address. I already told you how to do the StayFi. You're going to get their cell phone number when they book. So you've already got their name, cell phone number, property, and the dates. Now we just got to get their email. Install the StayFi, talked about that. You can ask them again after they've stayed with you, after they left a review. I have a VA do this. He just goes in, once every couple of weeks and looks at listings. I only ask him one more time. I don't want to be that guy. So we're batting like 80% for email addresses on Airbnb, but StayFi captures everything else. Now, StayFi is an investment. It's just like your door lock, your Sensi remote on the thermostat, your furniture. It's like $200. It's a little more than that, but it's definitely worth it. Okay, a couple more things here I wanted to chat about. 90-day launch. All right, I did a whole webinar about this. I'm going to give you guys the short version. You are in the fight of your lives for 5-star reviews. You are in the hospitality business. You are not in the passive investment business. Airbnb is not passive investing, guys. Not going to happen. The only way it can happen is if you have a property manager offsite managing it. And in that case, you don't need to know most of this stuff. Or maybe you do need to know it to hold them accountable. You tell me, you're the one that owns that property. But we're talking about arbitrage for the moment. Generally, if you arbitrage a property, you're going to want to manage it. Because if the manager taking 20% off the top, I mean, that's the cream off the top. This business is not easy. Please don't think that it is. It requires a lot of hard work, and it requires a lot of time to get one set up. We average about 100 hours total to set up a property. And then each property takes us anywhere from 5 to 10 hours a month to properly manage. I did say a month, not a week. How do I get multiple 5-star reviews? That's it. I only get 5 stars. Yes, I've had lower reviews, but you don't want that. And you don't want to think that mediocre is okay, because the guests today expect everything to be on point. You have to be right every single time. They only got to be wrong, or you only got to be wrong once, and boom, 2-star review, 1-star review, dragged you down. Superhost gets pulled from you. That sucks, guys. Don't be that person. Clean and cozy every single time. Make sure your listing matches your pictures. How many times have you guys gone to a place and you're like, they got new furniture, this is rearranged, they remodeled, whatever. It's got to match the pictures. We like to leave little notes and snacks. You guys saw that. My wife's got a whole box of these notes where she hand writes, thank you for your stay. Here's my cell phone number. If you need anything, please let me know. Make the check-in and check-out process automated and easy for them. I load up on the automated messages so that they have all the data and all the details possible. So the check-in procedures, the checkout procedures, they got it all. Do not give your host or your guest chores. Shit. Like, this is all I will tell them to do. Towels in the tub, sheets on the bed, take the trash out. That's it. I don't care if you leave dishes in the sink dirty. The damn cleaner is going to take care of that, because most people just do the dishes. So you don't need to be Gestapo about it. That's it. Okay. I asked them twice for their review. First time right after, how was their stay? I hope it was enjoyable. Please let us know how we did, right? Then a week later, I'll ask them again. And that's it if they don't. They do have 2 weeks to leave me that review. So a little trick that we realized is that you want to leave them a review the second your cleaner gets there. So our checkout's at 10. Our cleaners usually show up right after that. Say it's 10:15. Sometimes it's 10 o'clock. They walk right in. They're passing each other, right? My cleaner does a 5 to 10 minute walk around the property, just looking for any cowboy monkey shit. And if we're good there, she'll text Blair. Blair will leave them a 5-star review, because that prompts them to leave you a review. So, hey, Matt left you a review. You gonna hook him up? That's what Airbnb does for us. But if you wait like days and days and days and days, they're just gonna forget about it because they went back to their life. This Airbnb listing's your life. It's not theirs. It was just a place they stayed that one time. Does that make sense? No, I see a lot going on in the chat. I'm not looking at the chat right now, guys, because I got share my screen up. So if there's questions, we're going to get to all of those. We're going to answer all of them. Trust me, guys. Okay. So cleaners and management. How do I find a good cleaner? Let me make sure. No, we're good. Oh, sweet. We just got our first booking for our client. It's Herman property. Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. I feel for them. Herman, Illinois, or Herman, Missouri. There's a little winery, and they have this this awesome farmhouse with a barn, a silo, and all this stuff. We just got our first booking for that. So exciting there. I get so excited because all those messages always come to me and I just love it. But your cleaners are the most important thing of any short-term rental, guys. Like, you can get it stocked, you can get it staged, you can get it all ready to go. And I'm sorry I keep waving all my damn hands, but I just get really, really excited about this business. But if you don't have a good cleaner, then you are just freaking doomed. I'm just going to be straight up with you. You have to find a good one, and if they suck, fire them instantly. You may have to do the cleaning. If you suck, you need to find someone that's good. How do I find a good cleaner? I always start on Facebook. For those of you guys who don't use Facebook a whole lot and you only have a low portion of friends, I'm sorry for you, but you got to get the numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. Okay. Facebook is a community of people. Okay. If you want to post pictures of your pugs, I've got 3, so I can say that. And I do post a lot of pictures of them. That's fine. But when you need something, people are pretty eager to refer people. So I always go to Facebook first. I don't go to the internet. I want a referral. Hey, I need a cleaner. We need a cleaner in Grafton. I got 12 to call. 12. Yeah, I want to talk to all of them. And then I'm just going to start going through them, finding me the best one. If you don't have Facebook and you're not that guy, I don't know if that's possible because I did most of my advertising to get you on here through Facebook. But you can connect with other Airbnb hosts in the area. Does that make sense? So you're able to connect with hosts in the area if you go to the site and go to the right spot. And if you don't know how to do that, send them an inquiry. Hey, I got a property near you. I'm sorry, we're going to compete, but would you mind sharing your cleaner? Most people will do that. They like referring other people. I haven't had luck with the large companies because it's always somebody new coming to my house, and I don't like that. I like to get one person or 2 people that are really good, and then I place them at like 2 or 3 houses, and then their job is to do that. I do not pay by the hour. I pay by the clean. They take all the laundry and all that stuff to the laundromat. Some of them do it on site. If you do it on site, I'm going to pay an extra $35. So most of them get to the property, throw towels and laundry in, get that going, then they start cleaning, then they do loads of laundry. So while they're there, I do not want them to work fast. If they get my 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,200 square foot house done in 2 hours, you're fired. There's just no way. We have a checklist, a very detailed checklist that they have to complete every single time. Now, if it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, yeah, probably less than an hour. Man, but I'm going to tell you right now, that place better be perfect. And I might be the exception, not the rule. But I make sure the blinds are all the same direction. The pillows are all fluffed and perfect. All the dishes are put back exactly how they are in the photos. I make sure the gas grill has gas in the tank. I make sure all the little things, the beds. I say I, but it ain't me, it's my wife. I'm the blind guy and the pillow guy. All this stuff she's checking. So that leads me to, we check every single property after every single cleaning. That's not normal, guys. Most hosts aren't doing that. They're trying to show you how to fully automate your property and you can do everything at the touch of your fingertips. Okay. I will put my process and system up against yours, and I'll beat you every single time. Because I know for a fact that our properties were ran through by my wife or by myself, and we went through our checklists and we made sure that it was done perfectly, because there's always 1 to 5 things missed by the cleaners. They're human. They're cleaning the whole house. They're going to forget a thing or 2. I'm never wrong when it comes to making sure that listing or that property is clean and ready to go every single time. And you have to be that way. If you want to be the mediocre guy that's throwing lawn furniture in the house, a couple of TVs here and there, no decor, hardly any kitchen stock, one Tide Pod, one roll of toilet paper, one paper towels, that's fine. Keep being that guy. I'm gonna kick your ass every single time. And I know there's a ton of gurus out there that totally disagree with me. And they want to set up thousands of listings, all automated. Well, until you have a property manager or till you have somebody that is going to do this for you, you need to do it. But you have to do it first in order to understand how to do it. Don't be that guy. All right. The next thing, and I'm going to go into next steps. Or sorry, the last thing, then we're going to go to next steps. And then we'll open it up for Q&A. And we'll have Q&A for over an hour, or as long as you guys need to answer everything. All right, so Airbnb overall. Did you guys know that 17% of all hosts are super hosts? This information is coming from the vice president of AirDNA. You get a 24% advantage over all the other hosts, the 83%. You damn right I'm gonna do everything I can to maintain my superhost status. Okay. Everybody thinks we're in this Airbnb bust. Here's some numbers for you. Pre-COVID, the nationwide occupancy was 50%. Sorry about that. Nationwide occupancy, 50%. During COVID, so you had COVID, was March 2020. Whole world screwed up. We didn't know what was going on. The next month, shot all the way up to 60%. Current market, 54%. What this tells me, guys, is that we are still above pre-COVID numbers. We're not in an Airbnb bust. We're in the best house wins. If you suck, you got to get better or quit, or continue to lose money on your property, you choose. I'm not going to be that guy. Like, my job and my students' job is to be the best house, the best possible situation, so that you reap the benefits. That's why you made this investment. That's why we're working so hard. The cash flow that Blair and I bring, she hates it when I brag about it, but we are almost at 6 figures a month. That is a lot of damn money. I see that chat still loading up here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and go to it. I'm sure Noah's keeping track. All right, guys. So raise your hand. Let's try to do this in a orderly fashion. Noah, if you have anybody that needs, has a question in the chat, I see we got 62 messages there. Let's start asking. So just throw your hand up, make sure your camera's on, and let's get it, guys. So
we've had a few ones from the chat, so I think we should prioritize live speakers with cameras, and then we'll go through some in the chat, but there's some good ones in the chat.
Yeah, okay. So Alex, what you got, my man? You can go ahead and unmute on your end.
Hi, Matt. So question, this might be something actually a little more personal. Well, I have two. One, how many customers do you find actually repeat coming through your rentals?
So I don't have an accurate metrics on that, that I can tell you definitively. I will say that it is a percentage that is growing. So okay. I'm going to say 1 in 50 have a high probability of returning.
That's not a bad metric. And then also curious, do you just operate out of an LLC, or how does that work with your multiple rentals? Yeah,
so we have several LLCs because we don't arbitrage everything. Most of the real estate, we own it. So okay. You definitely have to protect yourself. Once I would say even if you ventured up into the 20 realm, you'll have multiple LLCs, or you'll have one corporation or one holding company that then owns those LLCs, if that makes sense.
The
Yeah,
rule of thumb
absolutely. Okay.
that we give people
Thank you.
in our training is that if you've got $1 million worth in an LLC, open a new LLC for any additional real estate. So,
Yeah.
Arbitrage deals, you're not gonna have to worry so much about that. You'd have to have a lot of arbitrage deals to get that much. But if you buy houses, and you go through the traditional techniques of buying houses, then you'll hit that equity amount in just 2 or 3 deals.
Yep. Yep, that's it, man. Okay, so Bill, what's up, Bill? How you been, my man? Now, Bill ran through our master class back in October.
What's going on, Matt? How are you?
I'm awesome, my man.
So Natalie and I were discussing this the other night, and this is probably, I don't know if this is something that you've encountered, but it's probably something you may have heard about. And this is an ugly question, but what would happen in the event that you sustained some somewhat major damage during a guest stay? Like, say somebody got pushed into the wall and half their body went into the wall, and you have guests come in to check in at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. How do you handle something like that?
Delicately, I will say I haven't had it happen yet. It will happen. I had in 20 what year was that? Shit, I don't even remember. I took the whole company down. No, you might remember. We took the whole company down to Fort Lauderdale for Grant Cardone's 10X Growth Con. And the night we were getting ready to leave, so we're leaving the night before we were leaving, the next morning, I got a message that they canceled the Airbnb list, or they canceled it because there was a massive party thrown the night before. So in that instance, let's go back to your specific question. Someone got thrown through a wall. Okay, so you're pretty handy. Can you throw some drywall up, spackle that shit, and get it at least step 1 done?
Right. You could get it presentable.
Make it presentable and let them know what happened. I am always upfront with my guests if something's going on, like if something's broke, like the washer machine, but I don't have a service tech coming for a couple of days. Like, say, hey, guys, we had someone trip and fall and go into the wall and leave a big hole. So we spackled it and we got step 1 done. Please don't hold it too much against me, but we got an unpretty wall for your stay. Nobody's gonna want that construction going on while they're there, but you'll have to then block a day or 2 afterwards to clean it up and fix
right. It. So like, do you finish that repair once they're out? Or do you try to, okay. And then would you, in that situation, would you offer them any kind of discount or like a card to eat or anything?
Not in that specific instance. I would.
Okay. Right on. Thank you.
There might be another one, like say your cleaner, your cleaner lied to you. And the property wasn't cleaned yet. And you needed an extra couple hours to get the cleaning done. Like, yeah, I would offer some sort of compensation. Here's a few bucks. Go to the local restaurant, chill there or whatever. Grab a few drinks on me. We're sorry. And shit, I don't know. Leave a 12-pack in the fridge for them. I go above and beyond. I do not look at the money when it comes to making a guest happy, but I do not give them money off.
I just wonder how that would affect their review on you, if that, is that going to end up? I guess it depends how you handle it.
Yeah, that's the victory verbiage, and I'm totally fine with you and I having a one-off conversation if that's what you guys are worried about. But I wouldn't be. I haven't had that issue yet. It's going to happen. We've had other things happen, but yeah. So let's keep it moving, guys. I'd like to be off by 9, but I want to help as many. So Alex, what you got? Go ahead and unmute yourself. How are we?
Yeah, is that me? I think it accidentally has my son's name in here.
Yeah, you know, it does, Alex, yep, but that's okay. What's your name?
Yeah, I'm Julie.
Julie, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. My question is, so I have two properties that my husband and I purchased in ski resort towns that are more of those type of vacation rentals.
Nice.
One in Park City, one in Eden, where there's skiing and there's, recreation in the summer. And I'm interested in getting into, I'd like to buy more, but financially I can't do that yet.
Yep.
But my concern is the areas I've purchased in, I 100% know, short-term rentals are a big part of it. So it's not a problem. But I worry about the cities, and a lot of them are cracking down on rentals and not allowing them anymore.
Yep.
So I'm a little afraid, I'd like to get into more of the cities and types of properties you have, but I have that worry. I just wondered what your thoughts are on that. Because every state, I'm assuming, is different, and some are going to be a lot more picky than others.
Yeah, so I am a big proponent of picking areas that have rental restrictions and regulations and rules to follow. Because what that tells me is that if I can follow all these rules, I'm good. If you go into an area that turns into the wild, wild west like Kansas City did, Kansas City got thousands and thousands of listings in a couple of years. I think that there's 5,000 to 6,000 listings in Kansas City. It is absolutely brutal. And I've got 2 friends out there, 3 friends that operate property. Some of them they manage for me. But there was no restriction set in place. So they just had this massive influx of complaints just pile in. So I'm a fan of, if I can fill the paperwork out, if I can get the inspections and pass your rules, and I can get grandfathered in, like I'm good, I want to operate a good property, I'm a good host, I care about the area, I care about my business, I'm going to pay taxes, like, then let's work in those areas. I also like to pick areas that are kind of off people's radars. Like if I say St. Peter's, Wentzville, St. Charles, Seminole, Largo, Claycomo, you guys might know where those towns are. And that's good, because that means my real estate's less expensive. The more you know the town, the more expensive it is. Vegas, Miami, Scottsdale, anything in California. Another thing that I do is I only buy or arbitrage in red states. I am not trying to get political here tonight. I have friends on both sides of the aisle, but I don't buy real estate in California, Illinois, New York. Those places are god awful when it comes to being a landlord or a homeowner in those states. They literally don't care about you. They care about who's in the property not paying you rent. And while I'm on that topic, I want to make sure, for those of my people in the room that like to do furnish finder or longer stays, make sure you know when tenants' rights kick in. In Texas, tenants' rights kick in 29 days. So if you get a booking for 30 days, they literally fall under the tenants' rights. But if I've got a booking in my area from Missouri and it's 3, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, they stop paying. I could literally walk into the house, pull them out. But you got to know your laws when it comes to that stuff. So I'm sorry that was a long-winded question, but increasing regulation is an issue we all have to face. And I would rather it already be on the radar of the area that I'm getting ready to enter, if that makes sense. Your mute is still on. Julie.
Sorry about that. So
Okay.
if you're doing arbitrage, are you able to go through the city and get the necessary paperwork if you don't own the property?
But yeah, same. You're operating a business at that property.
Okay.
You have a lease. Sometimes you have to share that lease with them. It just kind of depends on what they ask for.
Okay, so if you're not an owner, you can still get that registered. Okay,
Yep.
well, that's good to know.
Yep. Well, cool. Thank you for your question.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to butcher this name. I'm so sorry. Marieve?
Yes, Mary Eve. No
Mary Eve,
problem.
okay.
Name. I'm so sorry.
No problem at all.
Good. I would like to know, do you have a lot of properties that let's say are not yours, are not a client's property either, but that you rent and you sub-rent through Airbnb?
So right now we have 2 properties that we do arbitrage with.
Okay.
Most of
Okay.
the real estate I own. I would prefer to own it. But I
Okay.
consider myself an expert at most areas of real estate, especially this.
Okay, perfect. So I guess in your portfolio, you have your buildings or your properties that you own. You have some that are clients' properties that you manage, and then you have properties that you sub-rented or that you've
Yeah.
rented.
So we own 31 houses for short-term rental. We have 2 that we arbitrage, and then we have 2 that just came online for our clients. So
Okay.
our clients, and we have a 3rd coming on very soon. So we just opened up property management for local property owners because we're already servicing houses in the area. And we already have all these systems set in place. So we just want to continue that operation and help other people. So in part of me, if they're going to have a property in my backyard, I would at least like to make money off of it.
Yes, of course. Okay, perfect. Would you say like arbitrage works, like, or sub-renting? I mean, we call it sub-renting. I'm from Montreal, Quebec, but
Yeah.
would you say like that's something that works?
Yes.
Or like it's like not owning a property, you don't put any of your money, you just rent it and then re-rent it on Airbnb to cover like the mortgage? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it works, or I would not be talking about it with you guys tonight in this room.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Absolutely. Will, you had a question. Your hand's down though.
Hey,
Let's see, you're back on mute there. Oh, your screen froze, buddy. And if you guys have any more questions, please throw your hand up on the screen, and then what it'll do is it'll just trigger you up here. Don't raise your hand, but click raise your hand and then come on up here. And if you guys have any questions about the coaching program or anything that we're doing, I'm just kind of funneling through some questions here over on the chat.
Matt, it looks like Will's back.
Oh, Will. Okay. All right, Will, come on, man.
hey, sorry about that. My internet kicked me out.
Oh, no problem.
So I'm here local in O'Fallon like you are.
Awesome.
How much would you say you need to have saved up to kind of get the arbitrage started?
Well, call that landlord on that property in St. Peter's, man.
Okay.
My spreadsheet showed you need 17 grand, but you're young and ambitious. You could probably get it done for cheaper. What you should think about, guys, too, is why not grab a partner that's got all the money but no time?
Yeah.
So if you can find someone that wants to invest in this business and needs a good return on his capital, I don't know, man, pay him 80% back, every month. You keep 20% until he's made it whole, and then you go to this 50-50 model, right? And definitely DM me, dude. You should totally come to class. It's in O'Fallon, Missouri.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Bill, you got another one for me?
I just wanted to throw in there, thank you so much for doing this tonight for all of us. But for those of you that are on the fence, those of you that think that you are serious about getting into this, sign up for that masterclass. The amount of value that Matt and his team brings is absolutely amazing. He's going to give you all the tools and information you need to jump into this running full blast.
Thanks for that, Will. Bill, I appreciate it, man.
No problem, buddy.
Yeah.
I'd like to share my testimony too. I mean, obviously I have a special relationship with Matt, but almost everything, we started looking for our first Airbnb at the end of October. And we went live about a week ago. We've already gotten 2,000 $500 worth of reservations. We used a credit partner. We used somebody else to help raise the money and get it done. And it was a lot of work, but if we were to make that a regular old long-term rental, we'd probably make 10 times less. It's only been a month, but it's the slowest month. So we're really looking forward to that. And this wasn't from one-on-one calls with Matt or anything. This was just from what I learned from him while we were putting together this educational material for you. So, and you know, if we can do it, you can too.
Yes, sir. And Noah, you're going to do more, right? Like your plan is to get a couple more this year.
Yeah, that's right. We've got some equity coming our way once a tenant moves out of a house that we got a few years ago. And it's not enough to buy another house outright, but we could definitely arbitrage 3 or 4 houses with furnishings with that money. And once we do that, I'm out. I got about 6 more months before I'm done with work for the rest of my life. So plan.
Awesome, man. Okay, cool. Hey, Alex, you got another question for us, my man?
Yep, sorry, that's me again, but hey, I do have one more. I have read a lot of people that have been lately doing properties like tiny homes, accessory dwelling units. I thought about putting one up in my big backyard because I live by a ski resort. Thought about that. What are your thoughts on a different kind of property, such as people that are doing those types of things?
Yeah, so I've got blueprints being drawn up right now for that exact thing on our property that we have. We have 40 acres in the woods. And we plan on building 4 or 5, as many as I can squeeze on the property, little getaways. And I mean really sexy, bougie properties they're small. We got a couple cabin designs, a couple A-frame designs, but a cool thing, I mean, the kitchens are going to be efficient, but espresso makers, high-end appliances, incredibly comfortable beds, fireplaces, a hot tub, sauna, steam shower. I mean, just the works when it comes to these things. And because I've found that even if it's in a no man's location, hiding out in the woods, that you can get anywhere from $300 to $400 per night, and people gladly pay it because it's a 1-bedroom efficiency. Generally, it's a couple getting away out into the woods, having a romantic evening or romantic weekend kind of getaway. So I'm a huge fan of that. I've seen it happen, and I've seen houses do 200 grand a year on this exact thing that it only costs 150 to build the damn thing.
Yeah, I've been looking into that a lot. And that's why I was wondering what your thoughts were, because it seems like people like unique things as well, and they're unique. So,
100%. Yeah, I completely agree with you.
oh, great. Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah. So the other Alex A, what you got, my man?
Hey, so not to take everyone else's time with questions, but I love seeing what has made you successful and has made other people you've helped. But what was your biggest failure and what did you learn from it? In
Airbnb or real estate?
Yeah, Airbnb, mainly Airbnb.
I trusted someone's opinion that they didn't know what they were talking about. I had a property in an area and I asked them, are there any regulations or anything like that? I'm like, oh, no, you don't have to do that or worry about it. So I spent $28,000 furnishing a house. It was actually my first arbitrage in that area. I was getting fined $300 a day because I didn't have the proper permits.
Ooh,
so pulled it all out,
thank you.
moved the furniture here to Missouri. Got to do your due diligence, man. You got to call the city, the HOA, county, state. You better be damn well certain you can operate that business in that location before you freaking pull the trigger. So I got bad advice.
Makes sense.
Plain and simple.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Sean, what's up, man?
Hey, Matt, how you doing, man?
Fantastic, dude.
Dude, I've been following you for a while. Honestly, I'm so happy to be on this call. And
Right on.
you know, I'm not somebody who's not familiar with real estate or anything to the effect. I've got a couple of my own properties and a couple shore houses and everything, right? My biggest question that I have, and this is completely just such a simple question for you probably, but you know, at the beginning of this presentation, for example, you went through, hey, here's the AirDNA tool, here's how you find out how much income you can create on the property, and here's the occupancy rates. You're obviously doing way higher in regards to that, right? But obviously, because you already have properties in that area that you're operating, you know, you can easily say, hey, yeah, I'll get 80%, 70%, 60%, whatever it may be. How does somebody like myself, who's a beginner, who's kind of trying to do, you know, utilize some of his own property essentially here to be able to make some money, you know, kind of figures that portion of it out? Because I've looked at arbitrage numbers, I've looked at, you know, purchase numbers, I understand numbers on an intricate level as well, but the area where I get stuck every single time, okay, is, hey, what's the income versus my expenses here on this deal? And I own this property, right? I know what the mortgage payment is or what have you, right?
What market is it? What market?
So I have a couple of shore houses in Ocean City, Maryland. It's a seasonal market. Okay, it's not all year round market, which I absolutely hate. It's just that those are like family properties and stuff that we've had for a while. Okay, and it's just, you know, hey, how many times are you going to go to Ocean City, Maryland, right? So we're traveling to different places too now.
So you know, a couple things
that's my biggest hurdle.
Yeah, a couple things you can do is look at the AirDNA data and see what it tells you. Why we beat the occupancy rate that AirDNA provides us is because I'm a freaking beast when it comes to this business, and all my students are that way. Like I show you how to beat the system and how to be the best house on the block in the neighborhood to go to. But I get it. You're like, how do I pull the trigger? Well, I would also go to Airbnb and look at a surrounding 2-mile, 5-mile radius and see what listings are near you. And then do your own research. What do those listings look like? You can open up Airbnb and click on a listing and see when the dates are available. And now it's not a highly accurate way to do it, but it'll tell you if they're booked or not. So check with the AirDNA, check with the local listings. And then my students, anybody that runs through our class, they send me deals all the time and I help them analyze them. So they get that tool as well. Like I want you guys to succeed in this business, whether you're my student or not. Like I want you to be an awesome host, and I want you to provide for your future and your family's future. And if you don't have a family yet, and some of my young guys in the room, like Will over here, that's okay. You're going to have a family one day. So that's what drives me every single day. And I'm sorry I'm getting on a soapbox, but I think that it plays into this, that you can do this. I don't know too much about Maryland's laws. Like you would need to start with the city, county, HOA.
I've got all of that handled too. I mean,
Okay.
I know the regulations, the HOA, the whole 9 yards, right? The question still remains, right? Like, for example, let's take your example for just 1 second, right? When you pulled up the AirDNA data, I think, and don't quote me on this, was like 52, 53% or whatever it may be. And obviously understanding that you're a professional and you know what you're doing and you have existing properties in that area, that, you know, you're going to do X occupancy rate, right? I'm just saying, like, forget Maryland, you know, I actually live in Philadelphia, so this will be remote. And as per your class that I took today, hey, don't do it remote, right? Do it local first, right? So that scared me a little bit, just to let you know. Okay. So, but I can get past that, right? I understand that. But at the end of the day, again, how do I pull a trigger? Like, I have, like, I'm not going to go into too much detail, obviously, for the sake of everybody. But for example, like, how do I pull the trigger in my area when I'm looking at those same exact numbers that you're looking, for example, right? And I don't have the properties. I understand I can go to these different.
Yeah, I just told you. So look at the AirDNA data. if it's
Mhm.
good, and look at the listings around you.
DNA and listings.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Look at the air DNA, look at the listings around you, and if it works, do it. I
Yeah.
mean, you already
Sean.
own this house, so your risk is furniture. Like your risk is so mitigated with this, you should have already done it.
I agree with you 100%. I do. I just, just kept getting hung up on it. And the thing is because like I haven't needed to, right? And this is more like, hey, an extra income or what have you. But I
Yeah,
really
and so
appreciate you.
let's talk
Yeah.
about that for a minute. Like, and I was talking with Jay London on a podcast earlier today. He was on my podcast. And I was telling him that, well, and not necessarily telling him, but we were talking about this. Entrepreneurs, we have this issue. When we see a little bit of success, like, hell yeah, I win. Let me sit down on the couch. No. When you get a win, you need to keep driving forward and work harder. So yeah, sometimes I don't need to work this hard. 6 figures of cash flow hitting my bank account every single month, man. I don't need to be on this Zoom tonight, but I want to be here for you guys. This is the only reason I'm doing this. It's for the people that came in, took the time, sat in on this tonight, and I hope you guys picked up an immense amount of value. Next question. Got your hand up. Second question. Let's do it. Thank you, Sean, by the way.
Thank you as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, is it my turn? Okay.
It's your
super.
turn. Let's do it.
Amazing. Good. I would like to get your, and I've missed the first part of the Zoom because it was not working. I think I got kicked out or whatever, but I missed the first part of the presentation. So I'm sorry if it was mentioned already, but do you own properties abroad? Like
No.
in other countries or in another, I don't know, you're probably American. I don't know if you're concentrated into like one state where you have all of your 31 properties, or do you have some in other states?
We operate in 3 states. I would love to own property in other countries, like St. Thomas. Oh, that would be so cool. My wife would freaking love that.
Okay, but how do you
Barcelona.
like deal with those remote, because you're located in one state, you say you have properties in other state, and you say you verified the cleaning every time. I'm guessing a manager verifies your cleaning your cleaning every
So
time, but
that is
how
an
do you-
absolute, I pay a manager to do what I do. I have to train them on look for exactly what I'm looking for, to be that cleaner's double check and go with a checklist to make sure that it's done every single time.
okay,
So
you do have managers on site that are taking care of everything remotely and taking care of all the problems and everything.
absolutely. Okay.
And would you recommend having a property abroad? Like, I know you don't currently, but because we're thinking about like having a property like in Mexico, we currently have like 9 properties in the same region, but we're looking into like having a property maybe in Mexico or, somewhere in Latin America. We do right now with arbitrage, one of them abroad, but we just didn't buy yet because we're not like sure,
Yeah, and I've got a buddy that lives in Canada, Lucas, and this has got to be a Canadian thing. I'm sorry, but like Americans, we just don't think too much about owning property in other countries. I'm sorry, maybe we're arrogant, we just don't. But that's all he talks about is owning property in Greece or Spain or Africa. I mean, South Africa. I'm like, what the hell are you doing all that shit for, man? He's like, dude, it's cold in Canada. I'm like, okay.
It is. That's why right now I'm in Mexico, not in Canada.
Yeah,
it's freaking cold right now.
Hey, do the numbers work? Can you operate a successful business? What's your oh shit contingency? Like, make sure you're good with all those things. And maybe try it in a place that you absolutely love and it's your second home. And operate that business just to pay for it and get the feel. Don't make it such an expensive investment, and make sure you can get out of it. You can always buy something very easily, but you can't always sell something very easily. It's kind of like a boat. You can buy a boat instantly, but you can't always sell it instantly. So That would be my suggestion, but I definitely want to know where this place is in Mexico, because I could be your first guest and test it out, you know.
Yeah, we do have one right now that we're arbitraging in Puerto Vallarta. We actually like are trying the sub renting thing first before buying to see if it actually works and if, you know, we can make money out of it. And yeah, it's working pretty well. So now we're looking into perhaps buying something.
Well, that's awesome. Like, I'm excited for you for that. That's great.
Yeah,
All right,
perfect.
Sean,
Thank you.
Sean, did you have a question? I thought I saw your hand up, but
No, I was clapping on your comment, man. You're
Oh.
awesome. I just got to tell you that, bro. It's always awesome to listen to you.
thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Any more questions for the night?
Matt, I can go through some of the questions in chat. I'll say them aloud for those that aren't watching the chat, and then we can.
Yeah.
If I think there's some good ones.
Well,
Somebody
actually,
asked.
let's hit Nolan's question. He just threw his hand up. Sorry to interrupt, dude.
Okay, go ahead.
Nolan, how can I help you?
Oh, hi. My problem is I don't know how to read the area, and I've seen occasionally B2B stuff showing up, and I, would spend time looking at it, and there are people leasing out cottages near lakes or wherever. We're out in the Detroit metro area, and I can't think of Detroit. It's very affluent around these lake areas. I mean, there's hundreds of lakes here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
10 miles, but it's not a destination.
Sure.
So, and then you're telling me you're in Missouri, and to me, that's not a destination either.
No,
So
nobody's traveling.
Where are your clients coming from?
Yeah, so great question. And it's a very, very asked question when people hear that I'm even in this business that have no interest in doing this. Guys, we get clients coming from everywhere. It's the same reason that we have Hilton's, Marriott's, Holiday Inn Expresses, Super 8s, Hojos, whatever the hell you want to call it, have all of these places to stay, all these hotels nearby. Why the hell are the hotels there? Well, shit, I don't know, but they know something. I know that people come to town all the time and are traveling on a regular basis to areas you wouldn't even think of. Graduations, weddings, funerals, conventions. Dude, the conventions are blowing my mind at the crap that you can have a convention for. We had a rock climbing event. I'm in Missouri. There's no freaking mountains anywhere. I'm like, you have a rock climbing convention? I'm like, this must be a warehouse that I didn't know. We have sheepdog nationals here. What the hell? I've lived here my whole life. Any of my St. Louis people know why or where we're having the sheepdog nationals? We have this equestrian center nearby. People are traveling all the time for that. Sporting events during the summer. Guys, we are loaded up for March right now. We are probably going to have the best March we've ever had in the history of our business. And it's because we picked affordable houses in nice areas. I'm just not a fan of the whole seasonal factor. Like, my business does have seasons. January is always our lowest revenue month. But I'm gonna highly say that, like, you just need to do the research in your area, find an affordable house in a good area that you can enter into, and make sure you have your exit strategy lined up in case it just doesn't work out. And that's why you need those options in your lease, maybe instead of buying a house.
Yeah, well, we're looking at 150 grand for 1,000 square foot house, and it's not junk, but it sure isn't real attractive. So,
Well,
I guess what I'm driving at is, well, what are you looking at? 1,850 square feet up and up for the stuff you're doing?
I mean, no, it all depends. I've got a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house that I get about $4 grand a month for. I mean, what's that?
How many square feet?
It's tiny, maybe 720.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I honestly think that a lot of people overthink it. But you definitely need to do your research, check the air DNA data, check to make sure there's listings nearby. If there's no listings nearby, then you're rolling the dice. Now, I've done that. I've rolled the dice in certain areas and it worked out. I was the first one to put an Airbnb in Wentzville, Missouri. And now I have 3 in Wentzville, Missouri. And now there's probably like 10. Question on my lease. My attorney says I can't send that out, guys. But take that language and put it into a lease. So I would love to do that, but then it opens myself up for legal stuff because he prepared.
Well, thank you very much for answering my question.
You're welcome. So iPhone 225588. I need to see your face. You got a question? There we go. What's happening? So you got your mute on.
You're muted.
Hit the unmute button on your. That's okay.
All right. I am in Kansas City where it overloaded at.
Yep.
But I think you really just answered my question because I have a home that I had rented out. But you said in a good area. My area is okay, but like you said, you own it and make it nice. And so you said I need to find and see if there are any Airbnbs around me before I try.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, if your guest is not going to be safe, because most people traveling to the area don't know the area like you do, or I do. I
Okay.
know the bad areas of St. Louis. I know
Yeah.
where not to go at night.
Right.
So
Well, it's not
you're
like that. It's very quiet. It's not like that. And it's fenced in and all of that, cameras, but it's not like that. But I'm gonna have to check, like you said, and see if there's any Airbnbs around here, because there are some Airbnbs. A couple of my friends opened up one, and like people may just rent them out because they're laid out to do pod shows, to do cooking shows, things of that nature.
yeah.
They're not renting them to stay for 3 or 4 weeks, but 3 or 4 days. They may rent them for 2 days.
Sure.
But okay, I thank you, and this was very informative. And
Cool. Well, thank you for being here tonight. I didn't catch your name.
my name is Tara.
Sarah, nice to meet you.
You
Thanks
too.
for being here.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, Will, another question. What's up?
What would you say your success rate is when you're reaching out to those landlords? Are they more on the side of
10%.
I want to make the money, like not you, or are they usually, as long as I get my money, I don't really care what you're doing?
Generally 10%. 1 in 10 will say yes, unless you're really bad on the phone.
Okay.
I'm going to ultimately say that some of them then think they can do it themselves. And my line to that is, if you were going to do it yourself, you already would have done it yourself. Like you're offering the house for rent. I'm going to pay for that. I'm going to pay you the monthly fee that you're asking. I'm going to keep it in better shape than any tenant ever to have that property. Why wouldn't you rent to me? Right?
Yeah. Right.
And work out your verbiage. It's different from things roll off my tongue sometimes so easily, just because I've been in this space for so long. But don't be afraid to mess up. Guess what you do if you mess up? Like,
Right.
call another one. There's no obligation there, man.
So, do you think that these landlords are like pretty familiar with the idea of the arbitrage, or is this
No.
kind of like a new thing?
No. Very rarely do they know anything that I'm talking about.
Okay. But you
Yeah.
make it really clear to them that that's what you're gonna do?
100%. They own that
Okay.
property. I am transparent on everything. Insurance, the whole works. I do not hide around anything when it comes to that.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Mhm. You're welcome. All right, any other questions? Returning, yeah, Dan Barkledge out of St. Charles, Missouri. Let's see, Celeste had, what's the parameters need to look at for AirDNA above 50% occupancy? How much annual income? Well, that depends on the price point of the property that, you know, that you're looking at. I mean, obviously, if it's a property that, you know, rents for 4,000, 5,000, 1,000, 2,000, you're going to need your multiplier to be higher. For me, I have to get my money back in 8 to 10 months. So if I'm not getting a ROI at 8 to 10 months, guys, I know that everybody in this room can find $18,000. Cut out coffee for a year, going to Starbucks and eating out, there's 18 grand. Get a side gig, 18 grand. Make a few phone calls, call some friends that you know that may have some money, 18 grand. Get a credit card, put it on there, be diligent about it, pay it back, right? You can do this. So a couple other questions here.
Matt, there was a good one earlier. Someone
Yeah.
asked, how can you ensure that you're always cash flow positive? And I think to make that question more interesting, especially given if you're in a seasonal area.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's important. I don't do anything in seasonal areas, and you shouldn't either. Because I live in St. Louis, and this is, I live in O'Fallon, Missouri, but some of you guys don't know what that, Will knows where that is. Noah knows where that is. But it's a suburb of St. Louis, Missouri. And it's really important to understand that there are attractions within driving distance, like Lake of the Ozarks, Lodo. They had a show, Ozark, right? Which they didn't film our lake, but whatever. And my friends come to me and we're like, man, you know, I need to rent a place this weekend. You got your place at the lake? And I'm like, I don't have a place at the lake. They just assume that because that's the attraction, that's the destination for us. And I'm like, I'm not putting a freaking place at the lake. It gets 90 days of traffic. Summer. That is the only time people go to that lake. So why would I want to put a house out there where there's nothing to do in the winter and it is a ghost town in the winter? So you have to stay away from seasonal areas. Don't get tunnel vision on the fact that you got to pick a listing that is in a specific area because it this or this. Like, no, you want year-round traffic. I don't care what that is. There might be a lake, but that might be in Florida where it's warm all the time. Warm climates get year-round traffic. You know, you have to always think about those things. Oh, can you share my rentalizer? Yes, that's available to all the students that sign up to our program. So we are holding that out for them. Celeste, I'm butchering the name. I'm so sorry. Celestine?
That's fine. Yeah, Celestine.
Cool.
Hi.
Cool. What's your question?
So I'm just like listening to you. So I'm looking into more like buying our own short-term rental. It's like a second home. You kind of mentioned that it's our first one. We've been analyzing and overlooking, but it is at a lake, and we thought, oh, that'll be good. But you're pretty much saying down because it is seasonal.
What lake is it?
It's out in Houston, Lake Conroe.
Okay, Houston, warm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's different than our lake. Our lake gets snow and ice.
Okay.
So take that into consideration. But I'm not going to say no unless I have all the details. You know what I mean? Like that's just for me in the Midwest. Now Branson, Missouri. Okay, I don't know if you guys know the area. It's really popular, shows, attractions. It has year-round traffic because it has the lake. Then it has Silver Dollar City. Then it's got all these shows and rides and attractions on the strip. So there is year-round activity. As long as there's year-round activity at your lake, it shouldn't be an issue. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No,
So-
that makes sense. I have another question for that.
Yeah.
The problem we're looking into, like we come across, is like the property taxes are way higher here in Texas, especially like in this area that we're looking at. What do you, because I feel like we kind of like, do we want, because this is a second home, we're looking at a second home. Do we like break even? Is that okay? You know?
Well, that's a personal financial decision for you guys. I mean, I've got a few second homes, you know, that nobody goes to. I mean, that's where Airbnb started, you know, was for the second home guys or the home guys that, you know, just want to have a vacation rental or vacation property that they don't have to pay for. So again, personal choice on your end. If you can get it to break even and you have a second home that you can travel 4 or 5 times a year with your family, then do it. And especially that you own it. Now you get depreciation, get to write off the interest, the insurance, trips to the property, any maintenance, repairs, roof, water heater, new kitchen countertops, appliances, whatever, all write-offs. So you're able to really maximize, and that'll all go towards your W-2 income. And then depending on the size of the property, we also do cost segregation studies on our house, on the beach houses, because they're over $1 million. So when we do a cost seg study, we generally get about $80,000 to $90,000 that we get to write off in 1 year.
Okay. No, that's good, because we're always thinking, like, oh, we're bad investors if it's not even like making money, and we're like, oh my gosh, what are we doing?
Honestly, you would probably be a perfect candidate to run through one of our coaching programs to really make sure you have all the bells and whistles covered with this whole thing.
Yeah, it'd be great. Okay, I'll look into it. I saw your text messages with the
Sweet.
links.
Yeah, Noah spammed everybody, so you guys have the information, option 1, 2, or 3. All right, let's go to Jenny.
Thank you.
Just unmute there.
Hey, Matt. I asked the questions in the chat, actually.
Okay, yeah, that's you. Do you ever offer more money to the landlord? Yes, they're gonna ask that. My answer is always no. 100% no. I keep every dime. I am a stickler about that. Guest wants money? No. Landlord wants money? No. Find another landlord. Let's see, and to clarify, you sign a 2-year lease? Yes, I'll sign a 2 or 3-year lease depending on how confident I am in the area, but I always have my outs. Changing regulations, profit share, or profit if it's profitable for me. But I also have my options if it's highly profitable to renew. I want to make sure I have 9 to 10 years worth of opportunity there, because what happens if like BJ, who's not on here tonight, or I think he was on here at one point. What happens when he sees how awesome you're doing and he wants to do it himself? So yes, you kind of worried about that, but a lot of people, when they get into real estate investing, they're just looking for a quality landlord to take care of their house. Like they don't, most people just don't want to get into this business. How long does it take you to set it up? My wife and I can get it done in 20 and 21 days. And that's not working every single day.
Okay.
So we got 4 kids, bunch of companies. We got a lot of stuff going on in our life. So for us, we generally could get it done in probably 5 days.
Okay.
Follow me on social media and Instagram, and my wife and I, we post pictures. Like this Sunday, we were at a property putting it together, and all my kids were building something in the house. Like Dayton was building a bed, Matthew was building something, Izzy, Ben, they were all getting after it. So yeah, I mean, we're a labor of love. We do love the business. It is a lot of work Like you're moving into a house. You have
What hap-
beds and furniture and
Yeah.
all this stuff. Yeah.
And do you guys design it yourself?
Say that again?
Do you design or do you hire a designer?
No, my wife does all that.
Okay, okay,
Designers have a tendency not to make it cozy and comfortable.
okay,
We
okay.
go for cozy and comfortable. I would rather have a freaking a Barca lounger and a big old couch that I can lay down on than this pretty pristine couch for two people in a hard chair that looks pretty and good in the shot. Like, I want it cozy, clean, comfortable, relax. You know, people aren't staying in a museum, and my beach houses are set up that way too. I mean, and you can go to Hobby Lobby and decorate them. And if you guys suck at this, get on Pinterest and get a little better.
And just to clarify, oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
Oh, just to clarify, you basically, the landlord can't, well, what happens if they want to sell? Like they can't get out of the contract with
They
you?
can sell all they want, but I got me a lease.
Okay, so they can sell, but you like have a legal right to that property, even if it's,
Absolutely.
wow, okay.
The lease stays with the property no matter what, even if the bank takes it.
Cool, okay.
They can't kick you out.
That's amazing that the landlords are willing to sign that kind of a lease. And do you have any kind of, you mentioned earlier that often you pay like $50 increase in rent. Do you have that written out as well? Like what that number was?
Yeah, so my options to extend are very, very clear. So I signed a 3-year lease, let's say for $1,700. And so, and then in 2026, when I want to renew that lease, we then say it's $1,750 for 2 more years, and then in 2028 it's $1,800. You know, and for those of you guys know in the real estate game, like that's a steal. Like I'm ripping my landlord off by paying that little. Like rents will double in the next 7 to 10 years. So rents are going to be very expensive in our country. We're turning into a renter nation. You guys see all these multifamilies going up. And if you pay attention, you'll and understand the dates of which real estate was developed, you're going to notice that in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, you had 2-bedroom or 2-unit and 4-unit buildings in not the best areas. Or now they're not the best areas and they're a little bit smaller. Then in the 80s and 90s, you're going to see 24-unit, 32-unit, 72-unit buildings. The shit that's been building now and then 10 years ago, 200, 300, 400 unit buildings, massive, tons of amenities, all this stuff. And they're still building them. It's because people are getting out of home ownership and they're wanting to rent more. So that's raising their rents. So when I get into a deal and a negotiated deal, I want to make sure I protect myself through all that, what I see is coming. I do not want to sign a 6-month, a 1-month, or a 6-month to 1-year lease. Like it's going to take me 8 months to get my money back. I'm not doing this for fun or free. I have fun doing it, but I'm not doing this for free. I hope that answered my question. My cousin is getting ready to build 2 builds in Lodo. Is the next door neighbor. Oh, all right. I don't necessarily believe that. I really love to see who's going down there right now in the winter. Maybe call me a liar. It's okay. I don't care. You know, they're going to build a casino and an amusement park, so maybe some shit's going to change. But hey guys, so hey, it's awesome being here tonight. I've been on for 2 hours now. I hope you have seen some value in this. I hope this is something that you guys want to do. Thank you for sticking around at the end. So if you want to talk to me directly, you can go to 15minuteswithmatt.com. Noah, can you type that in the chat real quick?
Sure thing.
So 15minuteswithmatt.com, that gets you to my Calendly. If you guys want to get on there and have a 15-minute face-to-face conversation about one of our coaching programs or whether it's the master class or the online, like I want to have that conversation with you guys. I wish you all the absolute best. I want you guys to be insanely successful with this. So, whatever I can do to help you be successful in this business, please let me know. That's my job. That's my role here. Love to help you out in any way I can. Okay. And with that, we're going to call it a night. And I'm going to go see what my kids are doing.
Met everyone.
Thank you so much.
See you guys.